In this video, I am going to be interviewing the one and only Laura North, one of my personal graduates that has gone from 0 to 8 rent-to-rent serviced accommodation deals and is generating in the region of £96,000 a year net profit. My name's Liam Ryan. I'm one of the co-founders of Assets for Life and also the creator of Liam Ryan, the Dealmaker podcast. If you are new to this channel, please hit subscribe and the notification bell. And if you can just hit the like button, that will really help the YouTube algorithm so this video reaches more people so we can keep inspiring and motivating people to take massive action. So in this interview, I am going to be doing a deep dive with Laura North, going into what is working right now and how you can also go from 0 to 8 rent-to-rent serviced accommodation deals and start generating in the region of £96,000 a year profit. So, Laura, welcome into the studio.
Thank you very much.
Very excited about having you here today. So we're going to do a deep dive. And I know there's lots of people tuning into this that want to become professional property investors, but they don't know where to start. A lot of people think they need lots of experience, they need lots of money, they need big deposit pots. And as we know, there's many ways in property to make money, but it's about getting really focused. So let's take you back to when you met me and you met the Assets for Life team. Why did you decide to become a professional property investor?
I had tried lots of jobs in the past. I'd done 9 years in the travel industry and sort of done my time there, then had baby 1, then baby 2, tried other little various jobs in between, looking after the babies, and just made sure they went off to school. And then I decided it's my time.
Wow, great.
I had a it's my time feeling. And I started searching for property communities. I did try property auction by myself, found it very lonely, did well there. But yeah, I wanted to be part of a community and people, so obviously the algorithms and putting things into Google and searches, and this crazy guy, Ryan, kept popping up.
Who's that Essex boy?
Yeah, trying to get him to go away, and he just was very persistent. But yeah, I looked into it, and you won me over. Really? And I signed up to come to London for a one-day event. Yeah,
that's how we initially met, on Facebook, YouTube. And so probably fair to say that you was at a crossroads. Yes. You know, a fantastic mum. I know you're a wife, great wife, and you just felt that it was your time to start generating income.
Yes.
and really help the family go to a higher level. Yeah. Not too sure how to start or when to start. So you attended an event of mine in London.
Yes.
And we hung out for the day, and then you decided to come to our 3-day advanced training, the Property Millionaire Bootcamp. Yeah. How was that bootcamp for you?
Fantastic, it was amazing. I stayed at the hotel for the 3 days, so I was completely submerged in the atmosphere and met some amazing people, and the content was just incredible. So again, I didn't want it to end. So I signed up to the Academy.
So I've been personally mentoring you now for probably almost 2 years. Yeah, great. That's really good. And you've grown and grown and grown. So you were looking for support, accountability, making sure we kept you on the right track. So why did you decide to do rent to rent?
I decided to do rent to rent as you don't initially need the large deposit for example, a buy to let. So you could just get it off the ground really quickly. And yeah, I followed the systems and the processes, and I got my first deal up and running really quickly. Well, in fact, it was two deals in one.
Wow. And how long did it take you after the boot camp to get your first 2 deals under your belt?
I finished the boot camp at the end of June, and I got my first 2 deals at the end of August.
Wow, so that's really quick, like 8 weeks and you had 2 deals. So just for our viewers, just for our listeners, what is rent to rent?
Rent to rent is you rent the property from the landlord, and then you repurpose it, and then you can do your own business from the property.
Great. So you give the landlord his fixed rate
Yes.
rent, which let's just say is £1,000 a month.
Yep.
You then take control of that property, so you don't own it.
No.
You haven't got to buy it. You've not got to raise hundreds of thousands of pounds to buy a property. So minimum cash in, maximum cash out.
Yes.
And then the landlord allows you to operate it as your chosen strategy is serviced accommodation.
Yes.
Great. So for anyone tuning in now, what is serviced accommodation?
Serviced accommodation is a relocations company, so it can be, you can describe it as a boutique hotel, home away from home. So I have contractors who are mainly from all around the country. They come down from, say, Sheffield, they work down in the week in the south, they stay Monday to Friday, they go home at weekends. So it's a hotel as such, but it's a private facility, no one hotel room, you've got kitchen, bathroom, all private, and yeah, you get a nightly rate.
So it's basically renting out on a night-by-night rate,
Yes.
similar to a hotel.
Yeah.
And how do you find your guests?
You use channels such as the big platforms, such as Booking.com, Airbnb, and you use that as your shop window. And then after that, you can sort of get them direct.
Through your own website?
Through your own website.
Yeah, repeat business. So you build the relationship. So do you find that a lot of your guests, they come back for repeat business?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's important.
all the time.
All the
So,
time.
Out of all the properties I've got, probably there's only one that's just running on the other channels, but all of them are direct.
Okay, fantastic. And what's important for you? So when you create this living space, why do you feel that they keep coming back to you time and time again? What's the magic? What are you doing that some people out there are not doing to give that experience out to your guests?
I believe it's the personal experience. So I had to meet and greet. It was a requirement from the landlord. He didn't want key boxes, which I agreed. And I then decided that I would go and meet and greet the guests. So I do find that really wins them over, rather than fiddling around with a key box, tapping in the numbers, going into an empty property. They have my friendly face instead. I obviously won't do it forever, but I think that has been real.
That's helped you build the momentum
Yeah,
and get the repeat business.
Yeah.
So who's your main market? Because in serviced accommodation, rent to rent, there's a big market, right? Who do you typically try and focus on to have as your guests? Contractors.
Yes.
And why is that?
They are consistent. It's not just leisure guests, which they'll generally only come for the weekends. So Monday to Friday, all booked up, and then the leisure guests tack on the end for what's left, basically.
Great.
So yeah, real good luck.
So you do find by having contractors in, they're a better type of guest, more stable,
Yes.
they pay well,
Yeah.
and then that increases your return on investment. Great, cool. That's really, really good, yeah? So you've grown at a nice pace. You've got your first 2 deals in 8 weeks. I believe deal number 3 and deal number 4, they came pretty quick as well.
Yeah.
How long was it for deal 3 and
It was
D4?
4 weeks. So it's one block, and I had to win the landlord over initially. He sort of wasn't really having it. Didn't like serviced accommodation strategy. He's a 30-year HMO landlord, so yeah, I had to really win him over, and he even wouldn't give me a 12-month contract. He said, we'll start off with 6 and work from there. I initially asked for 3, but by month 1, he was saying, do you want this? And so I actually got 4 units in the same building in
Great. So
4 months.
So 1 landlord, 4 units in basically 4 months.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. So a lot of people, they say, I can't get the deals. There's no deals out there. I can't convince the landlords. So can you share some tips on how do you actually get your deals? What is it you say to get that landlord or landlords to buy into what you do? Just share with our audience your experience on that, because everyone starts from 0.
Yep.
every single person has the same challenges, the same blocks, but when you learn to overcome those blocks, and we showed you how to do this on training and mentoring, but yeah, just share some tips around that, please.
I believe it is networking. So getting yourself out there, your face known. So nobody knew who I was 2 years ago with regards to rent-to-rent serviced accommodation, and it's just completely networking. So in actual fact, the first deal then led me on to the next deal and the next deal, and I also went through a really challenging time with lockdown and COVID and the government shutting down my calendars, which was really tough. So I then had to pivot and adapt, and I posted and went all out on social media myself to find tenants or guests just to fill it up. So I was everywhere.
Wow.
And it worked.
So you put yourself on social media. Obviously COVID hit last year, and it was challenging for everybody, and certainly in that lockdown one, I think pretty much every single business in the whole UK hit a brick wall. However, a lot of serviced accommodation providers gave up. They didn't pivot, and they had to hand properties back, which actually was a benefit to people like you and other people we train. What was it then that got you through that lockdown initially? Because your business has grown as we've come out of lockdown, and actually you've done very well. So what was it that helped you through that process?
Support, positive mindset. So at the first lockdown, I just rode the storm. Nobody knew how long it was going to be for, so I just kept going. I was having to pay higher bills out. Fortunately, I had a really supportive landlord, and he just said, let's just put a break on the rent for a moment, which really helped. But then, I'm not going to stay down for very long, got back up fighting, and that was it. Pivot, adapt. People need properties, so let's just hand it out to people that need it. But equally, you are running a business, you can't give it out for free.
Because certainly since lockdown 2, lockdown 3, the property market reopened, and the demand was there again, wasn't it? Massive dust in the dust. So anybody watching, listening to this now that's looking to get into serviced accommodation, is the market strong? Is there demand? How is it looking for the next 1, 2 to 3 years?
The demand is hugely there. I have more inquiries than I can handle, so I don't have enough properties to service the inquiries that I have. I won't just go and get properties willy-nilly. I've turned 3 down last week because they didn't tick my boxes, as in the figures. So although I'm trying to break out into the next town, it's very expensive. We're talking Surrey, Hampshire borders. So I turned down 1. I am looking at 1, but the figures just don't stack. But I will continue to find more properties. So the demand is massive, and if you do it right, you'll get it right.
So actually you haven't got enough properties to fill the demand, but there's no point just getting deals. I'm really pleased you said that, because here's the reality, and we know this. Not every landlord or letting agent is going to give you every property. When they do give you properties, not every deal's going to stack. And as much as you want to get your 9th, well, I know you've got deal 9 in the pipeline, it's being refurbed at the moment, and I know you're really eager to get to property 10, there's just no point taking the deal on unless the numbers are going to work. So what does a deal mean working for you? What's your magical figure? What do you need to be making on a monthly basis for it to be worth your time invested?
Yes. I need to be making £1,000 net profit a month for it to be worthwhile. Sort of a little bit lower, 800, but if you're talking lower than that, then it's a lot of hard work for not much return. So yeah, my magical figure is 1,000 net.
1,000, which is pretty decent, because you haven't got to own the property, you haven't got to buy the property, you're controlling the property, you're getting these contracts 1, 3, 5 years. So if we put it into context for people tuning in, one property, 12 grand a year on a 5-year contract, that's an extra £60,000 secured coming into the household. You times that by 5 deals, 6 deals, 7 deals, it really doesn't take long before you're replacing what your income was, and then it's starting to create a nice lifestyle for you and your family. People think that they need hundreds of thousands of pounds or they need 50 single lets to make any type of money. They don't. Literally 5, 6, 7 deals. You're at 8 deals. Deal number 9 in the pipeline, and you're in the region of £96,000 a year net profit. So I know you've put in a lot of hard work, but I also know that you have a fantastic lifestyle. So what impact has an extra £96,000 a year, becoming an entrepreneur, being your own boss, choosing your own hours, living life on your own terms, what impact has that had on your husband? And if you can let us know your husband's name, and also your children, and how old are your children, and what do you guys do?
My lovely husband is Keith, and he helps in the business. So I told him my crazy plan, and he did gulp and question how I could make that type of money. And he believed in me. So he knows that anything I set my mind on and my heart on, he knows I'll just go 100%, bull in a china shop. So he massively helps. So actually, a negative situation, his contract didn't renew in his telecoms job. So he was 19 years in that job. And you don't really, it's a contract, they just get rid of you anytime. So
19 years he had a contract, and that was it. One day, one minute he's there, COVID comes, the pandemic, and then he's out the door. Wow. And I think that's happened to a lot of people. And one of the great things about property is that you can be your own boss, you can make your own decisions. A lot of people start this initially part-time alongside a job or a business, but people are waking up that they cannot rely on a job anymore. They cannot rely on the government, because what happens if there's lockdown 4? What happens if you get sick? What happens if you're made redundant? So that happened. So that would have been a big blow to you guys. So what was the positive?
The positive was that he could join and help me out. So we balance it really well. We have our 2 wonderful children. So we've got Kai, who's 11, and Layla, who is 7. Big ball of energy. They're athletic kids, so it's constantly on the go, doing lots of activities, which is amazing. So it's a real good balance. They have their favourite properties. Property 5 is their favourite.
They like the new one. Do they come on viewings with you?
They come on, well, I do keep it professional.
Oh, okay, so away from the viewings.
Away from the viewings, but once the key, they're jumping on beds and all sorts. So
it's become like a family.
It is, family business. My son actually has helped me do a turnaround when one of the housekeepers wasn't able to make it. So I was like, quick, and he said, Mum, take this booking, you can do it, I'll help you. So he was stripping beds and we were like turning it around, amazing. Wow. So family business. And then we have wonderful balance. So I'm at the spa. That's my time. I have to have some chill time. The kids come too at the weekends on their swimming outings. Hubby goes on his 2-hour bike rides. So we all do things that's good for our health, mindset. It's really good.
So it really has been a life transformational journey for you, from pretty much complete beginner, starting out from scratch. And that's what I say to people, look, anyone can do this if you've got the right mindset, you get the right training, you get a great mentor, and you do the bloody work. Because what you don't know is what you don't know. And for lots of people watching this and tuning into this, we've all got the monkey on the shoulder. So share with us what you would say is, your 2 biggest challenges that you've faced over the last couple of years doing this stuff, and how you've overcome them.
Yeah, well, the same with everybody. The biggest challenge, which nobody knew was coming, was COVID. But it's made me stronger and better, and I tuned into positive. I just didn't tune into the news, I didn't tune into the figures, I didn't need to tune into COVID figures. So I really got my head down and I just homed in on my business and my world and my bubble. So I just rode the storm, made sure the properties were fine. There was no way I was going to give the keys back, even though there was one day I did actually feel deflated. I did phone my landlord and I just said, I don't think I can do this. And he said, don't even make that rash decision, sleep on it, and the next day I woke up stronger.
Yeah, woke up stronger. That's like a pivotal moment, because it doesn't matter what property deals you do, what business people have, there's always going to be challenges. This isn't get rich quick, it is get rich. rich, but you know, it's not click a button, I'm going to become a millionaire. You have to do work. But actually, when you enjoy what you do and you stay calm and you've got great mentors around you like me and Jay and the rest of the team, anything is possible,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. So I literally tuned into so many Assets for Life webinars because I just needed to keep my mind positive, and it was amazing. So it really did keep me positive. So that was a massive challenge. And I guess filling the properties, I mean, you're saying two, but there's quite a lot of challenges, you know, cleaners not turning up, or, you know, phoning in sick, or their child sick. So that is always, I think, in any business. But then you've obviously got a pressure of, you've got to turn it around for the next guest. So those are the challenges. Admin, challenge, but you know, I always know that there will be a solution, because I'll find one.
So really nothing too bad. just entrepreneur life, yeah. You know, owning a business. You know, it's risk versus reward. A lot of people want the reward, but they're not willing to do the risk. They're not willing to do the work. They're not willing to just have a go, and they stay stuck. And they stay stuck for 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, 40 years in the rat race, one income stream, not enough month at the end of the money, struggling, miserable, resentful, and it doesn't have to be like that, does it? There is a solution. And you know, there are property strategies that are working right now that will give people complete and utter financial freedom, more choice, more profit, and a better lifestyle. So share with us the biggest highs. You know, what has been amazing for you? If I could get you to sum it up in, you know, a few words, a couple of sentences, you know, what do you love about now what you do, and what have been some of the biggest highs?
Yeah, I just love, well, I love it all, but mainly the part where it's me time. So being able to do the spa days, and then inviting my friends on them. So they come along and they see this lifestyle that I've created. I've worked so goddamn hard for it. And I can take my family if I want to. So there's a real good balance. I wouldn't have been able to do this before. No way on earth. You know, it's an expensive place to join. And that is meditation time, that is resting my mind. I'm always on the go, and the only way I can stop is being submerged in water, doing a swim, away from technology, but most of all is providing an amazing lifestyle for my family. We live in a lovely house, which we never would have been able to do before the business. So yeah, it's I've got a new car. So yeah, it's, you know, it's just this balance of.
And now you're using profits, you know, from your business to feed your lifestyle. You know, income follows assets. Assets you either own or assets you control. You know, most people watching this, tuning in, will have money coming in from a job or a business, but they're constantly got to be working at it. Now, of course, there's an element of you working on your business, but I'm sure it doesn't take up hours and hours and hours, yeah? And you know, there's people out there, professionals that have been to university, doctors, brain surgeons, you know, solicitors, lawyers, that are earning half of what you're taking home, and they are having to literally work 60, 70 hours a week. So would you say that Assets for Life has been true to its word? Me and Jay, has your journey with us been a good journey? Just give us a few words about your experience with me and my team.
It's been incredible. So really life-changing. Glad I made the decision. So I did go against hubby, or behind his back. So I made the decisions myself. I knew that I was on this path. This is the path I wanted to take. He gave me his support initially to go up to the one-day event, but then afterwards did things behind his back. But I knew that I would work so hard to achieve what I was wanting to achieve. And actually, we discussed it the other day, I've done it and more, tenfold. So I've achieved the figure that I said. I said I wanted to be making £3,000 a month to him.
You're smashing that.
So he massively supports me now. So the balance is amazing. I can take my laptop to the spa and choose to either work there, have downtime there, have my laptop on my spa lounge.
You know what, I'm so relaxed with the spa. Me and Holly, my wife, we're off to a spa tomorrow for 2 nights, you know, just to chill, have some downtime. I'll take my laptop, and I can get to do a little bit of work, you know, tune into some motivational content, tune in with the team in the comfort of a spa. So, hey, if you could face the camera, this is your camera here, and if you could share, anyone watching this, listening to this, tuning in now, if you could give somebody 3 of your biggest tips, what would that be?
3 of my biggest tips would be to not procrastinate any further. You've just got to go, basically. So just do it. The more you think about it, you'll talk yourself out of it. So that's the first one. The second one is believe in yourself. So you just have to 100% believe in yourself. If you put your mind to it, you'll be able to do it. And number 3 is to feed your mind. So all about mindset. I was in a negative mindset before I started, so I changed my mindset. I feed it with positive. I surround myself with positive people. I love Assets for Life and Liam and Jay and what they do. So yes, surround yourself with people and positivity.
Great. Get a mentor, get trained, do it the right way. But man, that's absolutely amazing, Laura. I just love working with you. I love your journey. You're just an amazing person. But anybody can do this. You know, it's literally about being committed. Really appreciate you being. Let's do a follow-up on this in maybe 6 or 12 months and see where you're at. Because what's next for Laura? Where would you like to be a year from today? What's your target?
Well, in terms of property, I'm gunning for this 10th property, so I'm going to work hard for that. But equally, I then want to have some family time and some downtime, a little bit of downtime. Whether that will happen, I don't know, because I've always got itchy feet. But you're pushing me and encouraging me to speak, and that's sort of a direction that I want to go. So hopefully the business can run with hubby and sort of by itself or without me so much, and I can go off and inspire people.
Wow, that's amazing. That's why we do what we do, right? To inspire and motivate others. You know, there'll be hundreds of thousands of mums and wives out there that are in a similar position, stuck in a rut, feeling frustrated, but just don't know where to turn. So thanks for coming on the show. You're absolutely awesome. A massive inspiration to the whole community. Thanks for all your hard work. Wow, wow, wow. Wasn't that amazing? I hope you've enjoyed this interview. Please make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell. If you could also hit the like button, that will help the algorithm. And if you've got an interest in serviced accommodation or you want to ask us a question, drop us a comment below. It will be lovely to hear from you. And make sure you tune in to more videos right now. We'll see you in the next episode.